So as the relationship between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard kind of spiraled out of control, they were only married, I think it was 15 months, but man, they packed a lot into that. There was suspicion on either side, and there was recordings, and we're going to get into some detail about those recordings because, I mean, in this case, if you even put the salaciousness aside, there's a lot going on that we can learn from and kind of see unfold in front of us. So Depp and Heard would record some of their arguments, and Johnny Depp was the one who began this process because he didn't want her to be able to say, "Nuh-uh, I never said that," so he recorded. Let's listen to some of that.
I'm not the one who those hots and
those are different. That's different.
Else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door based on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
No, I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
You told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the thing. And
you figured it out.
And you said, no, fuck it. No, I didn't. What the are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you have a close
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the up,
because you
Johnny.
started physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had
to get
out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Boy, sometimes feels like you're watching a 40s film there, you know, when Johnny, come on, Johnny, you know, you're a baby. What's interesting here, guys, Jack Rice is with me here, Mitra Hurian, is that she knew this was being recorded. And we're going to talk about one-party versus two-party states. This was in California, a two-party state, meaning both people need to know that the recording is taking place, otherwise it's illegal. So she knows that it's being recorded. He's thinking, you know, she's acting. What do you think, Mitra?
I just think for a jury, this might be all they need to hear. It's really powerful. She does not look good. She does not, you know, it's consistent with what Johnny's been saying is that she's the aggressor. And really, you know, is exactly what his team has been saying. She's the aggressor. She's the one picking fights. She's the one starting fights. When he tries to leave, she tries to bring him back into it. And maybe he's exploded a couple times, and which would make it understandable. And so I think that this is really, really hurtful and so telling of the dynamic.
Yeah, and Jack, what's important here, I think, is it really cues up her testimony, which we expect next week, because this jury's going to want to know is this woman, what we've heard in the audio and video portions of various testimony, is that her? Or is she going to be acting when she testifies? What are we going to get? How important is Heard's testimony coming up?
Oh, it's massive. In terms of the cross-examination, from Depp's perspective, it's the cross that you're looking at. And frankly, the gulf between how she presents herself when she's on the stand is one thing, but I have a piece of tape that is absolutely brutal. And in fact, if that gulf is as extreme as I expect it to be, my response as the attorney would be, the actor is the person you seeing in the box. The real person is the person you're hearing and talking about beating on Johnny Depp. That's going to be the argument, and frankly, should be.
Yeah, and I think the jury takes this all in on a very, kind of surface level, and they just feel how each person reacts to a situation. They've seen time and time again that she seems to be the aggressor, even really criticizing him for trying to get out of a fight because he's not sticking around for the fight. I don't know how that's going to play for a jury, and I just, like you say, Jack, I can't wait to see when she takes a stand and we see which Amber Heard they're going to hear from. So cross-examination, as we've said before, always brings out some very interesting elements, and in this case, some disturbing text. One of them was a message between Depp and the actor Paul Bettany. Let's take a look at that.
In this text, Mr. Depp, you text Mr. Bettany, "Let's burn Amber," 3 exclamation points, right? You see that?
I do see that.
And at this time, June 11, 2013, Amber is your girlfriend or perhaps even your fiance at this point, correct?
Girlfriend,
Yeah,
for sure.
And you didn't stop when you said, "Let's burn Amber." Because the next text down, you can move down and blow up the next text, please, Michelle. You say, "Let's drown her before we burn her," 3 exclamation points. Did I read that right?
Yes, it's referring to the
and you
text
didn't-
prior to.
You didn't
from Mr.
stop when you
Bettany.
said, "Let's drown her before we burn her." After that, you made another comment, and I'd like to apologize to the court and to the jury for some of the language that I'm going to have to use today, but unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of documents with language like this. After you said, "Let's drown her before we burn her," Mr. Depp, you said, "I will f her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead." That's what you said that you would do after you burned her and after you drowned her. Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
And you wrote that about the woman who would later become your wife.
Yes, I did.
Can you?
So let me apologize, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, because I might curse here, and I would never personally ever curse, so I'm above that. Yeah, a little self-righteous for me. But nonetheless, so the jury is hearing, it's pretty, inflammatory stuff, Mitra, but, this guy's a character. He acts flamboyantly, he writes colorfully. Doesn't necessarily mean he would really do the things he suggested. What's your take on this kind of text?
I think it doesn't look good. People are not going to like the reference to burning witches and burning women. And, you might get somebody on the jury who's really offended by that. But I think it's also, understandable, somebody even being on the receiving end of that as a woman. There are times when people say things out of anger and their language is not, is extreme. And we've certainly seen him, with these extreme tendencies, which is not unusual for, like you said, somebody who has a personality and a character and all of that. And so, yes, it's hurtful, but at the same time, he owns all of this. He's like, "I did that, and that's horrible, but I didn't beat her."
Yeah, yep. That's the question this jury is being asked to deal with. So